today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Ryobi 18V Brushless Cordless Chainsaw. I'll be talking about what I like about it, what I don't like about it. I'm going to be showing you the different features it has and generally talking about and showing you what it can actually do. So I've had this chainsaw for around 12 months, so I thought it was about time I did a review. So is it going to replace my 2-stroke petrol chainsaw? Would I buy this model again? Let's find out. So firstly, let me tell you why I personally bought the chainsaw. Now, I have access to quite a lot of logs, so I wanted a chainsaw I could quickly pick up and cut a few logs with for around half an hour. I also wanted something I could use for general pruning, perhaps felling the odd small tree if the need would come. But the main reason I purchased this model was to cut logs for my log burning stove. So first, let me tell you a little bit about this chainsaw. Firstly, it's a brushless model, which means it should offer more power and generally just be more efficient at cutting logs. I've tried this on some pretty large logs, larger than what Ryobi recommend, so keep watching to see if you could get through these logs. You'll probably be surprised. So the first thing is, when it was delivered, I had to attach the chain bar and the chain. It's easy enough with this model as it features the toolless chain tensioner, which means it's easy enough to get set up and adjust the chain tension in seconds. Simply undo the chain tensioner knob, and then you turn the outer chain adjustment ring to tighten and loosen the chain. It also features auto oiling. Like most modern chainsaws, the oil tank holds around 210ml of oil, and this also came included, which is handy, as you can use it straight out of the box, but you can basically use any chainsaw oil for topping it up. Overall, it's a well balanced machine. It's fairly lightweight, including the battery and the oil. It's probably around 4 kilograms, I think. It comes with a 12-inch bar, which is 300ml. It's officially good for cuts up to around 250ml, although I pushed it way past these limits to test what it could actually do. So before I get onto my pros and cons, I want to show you how this model cuts. So as mentioned, I've been using this for cutting logs of various sizes, some average sized branches, but also some decent sized logs. Actually, before I get into how well this model cuts, I want to quickly explain how you get it started. So this model does come with a chainsaw brake, which is designed to stop the chain instantly when pushed forward. You also have to pull down on the top slider switch with your thumb and pull the trigger with your fingers. However, you also have to have the chain brake pulled backwards toward the handle before it will actually start. Now for smaller logs, it cuts really well. As you can see, it has no problems whatsoever cutting through those logs. And this is true for most logs up to around, I'd say 6 to 10 inches I've found. Doing these size logs, I can get around 30 minutes of cutting from a full charge battery. I'll show an example of how many logs I'm able to cut with a full charge now. Talking of charging, I actually purchased the 18V 5A battery and the fast charger when I purchased this chainsaw. So what I actually do is I cut logs for around 30 minutes and then I go and grab a brew and get some dinner while I put it on charge for around 45 minutes an hour, and then I come back then and then I'm able to do about another 30 minutes cutting. This seems to work well for me, but I might consider getting the larger 9A battery, as I believe I should get around 2 to 3 hours of cutting. The only thing is the 9A battery is quite expensive, so I've not pulled the trigger with that yet and actually bought it. So for me, just doing 30 minutes, giving it a charge, go and get a brew, then do another 30 minutes, it does work well for me. Now back to how this chainsaw cuts. Now for the larger logs, I do have some occasional around 16 to 18 inches wide, so it's also had no issues getting through these larger logs, but it does drain the battery much faster as you really need to work the chainsaw. So what I find with the chainsaw is I've got some other cordless Ryobi tools like the drill, and if you put too much pressure on, the drill will just cut out and stop. But with this cordless chainsaw, I expected it to do the same, but it didn't actually do that. It just keeps going and going, and as the chain actually starts to slow, I just lift it up slightly, and then it speeds up, and then I put the chain back down and carry on cutting, and I just keep doing this process of if it starts to starts to struggle a little bit, I just lift it up slightly, put it back down, and then it starts cutting again. So you've really just got to let the chainsaw do the work and not put too much pressure on it. So will this replace your 2-stroke petrol chainsaw if you want to cut logs all day? It's definitely not going to do that. It's just not going to do it. However, to be fair, it's not really designed to do this. Maybe one of the more expensive and powerful cordless chainsaws might do this, but this model certainly won't. The thing is with this chainsaw, I'm really happy with it, and it's designed for cutting reasonably sized logs now and again. I like to use it ideally for logs up to 250ml, but it will do the bigger logs as I've shown if I really need to. It's for felling the odd small tree, doing a little pruning, clearing brush. It would also make a great chainsaw to take camping with you. There's no engine to service, it's lightweight, it's extremely quiet when compared to my 2-stroke chainsaw. I do think it's a really good chainsaw, and for me, for just logging and pruning, it is really good. So just a word of warning, don't forget though, at the end of the day, this is still a chainsaw and it can do some serious damage, so make sure you take the necessary safety precautions. That's it for this review. If you found it useful, don't forget to give it a like, as it really does help me out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more great videos just like this, and thanks for watching.